It's time for Cutting Edge Consciousness with Freeman Michaels and Barnett Bain. Thought-provoking discussions and bold ideas from the edge of possibility.
It's Freeman Michaels here.
With Barnett Bain on the edge of possibility. I haven't said that for a long time.
There's a lot of possibility today.
A lot of possibility. There sure is a lot of possibility.
Who knows?
Going on lately.
Yeah. Well, you were listening to the news. Weren't you listening to talk radio?
I always listen to talk radio.
Well, I know, but
I'm a big champion of talk radio.
Yes,
God, we're true believers. But you're right. I've been very aware of the shift in the tone of the Zeitgeist over the last very recent bit. What with the developments of the Supreme Court, et cetera, and the decision about Obamacare, and I've noticed a kind of giddy exuberance on the left, and a very somber. A very, very somber tone on the right, on conservative talk radio. And I find it, there's a lot of sorrow there that I'm aware of as I listen to that. There is more than the anger and more than the rage, and that's there. And more than the tone of righteousness on the other side, which is also there, there is a certain a loss of hope and a sense of being without any vision. There's a sober and a somberness, particularly on the right, and I take there's no pleasure certainly to be derived out of that, and there's a tremendous sadness about it. And I think it's interesting that on both sides of the spectrum there's a certain kind of sense of certainty about how people are interpreting these events. There's a
well, that's the game. That's the game. I mean, you have to know what the game is, and the game is I'm right, they're wrong, we're trying to win. And there's winning, and there's this sense of, well, we lost that one, and there's a
winning at the sense of
there's always
of
this
crushing
an
opponent, and there's a sense of having lost that these are, I don't like to use the word games, but that these are ultimate. These forms are ultimate manifestations when. I would prefer to believe, I do believe, I live my life on the belief that below the level of the form there is an energy, there is a function of something much bigger that is continues to unfold.
Well, these forms in general are insufficient to hold what you're talking about. They don't hold it, and for many of us, that's been where we channel the energy. We channel it into these forms, these expressions that lack the depth and the width.
They lack it. And what is emerging here is such a sadness and such a sense of being at a loss for the future. So many have a sense of being at a loss for the future of our country. Right. And so many have a sense, a false sense of optimism that they are on target for the future of our country. Right. And largely, not entirely, I'm not a sweeping statement, but largely, these are affirmations of beliefs of others that people are buying into, and they feel as small children do that we are meeting the approval of some outside authority or some more powerful, some more knowledgeable expert, that we're in line with the status quo, or we're not. And it's a very dramatic development to see what happens when people become estranged from the status quo, as eventually we all must be. So all this to say that there is a opportunity for very deep self-knowing.
Yeah.
That a renewed investigation into what really matters to us, what is my personal sense of vision, what is it that provides meaning and a sense of community and a sense of safety and a sense of security and meets my needs, my health needs, my community needs. What does that really involve apart from the party line, left or right? What does that really involve? So we come to know what we stand for.
Yeah, and look, I mean, there's a aspect of this. I'm going to call it a ride, because whatever side you're on, one day you're the winner, the next day you're the loser. One day it's your president or governor or senator that's won, and
one day it's this president, and one day it's my president.
Yeah. And they're always we're always drawing these huge conclusions about what's going to happen. Oh, this is so great, or oh, this is so horrific. And I think that this form, it doesn't hold the hopes, the aspirations, the dreams very well.
Doesn't hold the magnitude of what it is to be human below the surfaces of things.
That's right. And so, so much of this show is about striving for authenticity, wanting to figure out who am I, and then, as we move forward, you, me, and many of our listeners, how do I begin to put that out in the world? What is a form that I can take to message who I am, what I stand for, what I'm about, and that messaging, that finding a way to put ourselves out that is authentic. And
how do I first know myself?
Yes.
Sufficiently.
Truly,
so that I am equipped and prepared to put who I am out into the world in a way that makes others feel seen, heard, and that they matter, and that they have a sense of who I am.
And that's sustainable. I mean, you and I have both been in the public, and part of the messaging process or the branding process so often is about aligning ourselves again with a form that doesn't hold our complexity, that doesn't allow us the breadth and the width of who we are, and that at the end of the day becomes very hard not only to keep up, it becomes a tremendous manipulation to stay with the brand. Who am I as a brand?
Yeah.
It's not just, it's tiresome and it's limited.
Yes. It's so often we strive to live into a brand that is conceptual to us, but has very little to do with who we truly are.